Yeah, how are you guys feeling? Enjoying the sessions? It's quite deep and, of course, entertaining with Ushi's session, which was so fun. So the previous session was very good with in terms of financial literacy, and it sets a tone for this session because financial literacy and getting back to work just goes hand in hand. Now, just show of hands, how many of you are stay-at-home moms? Wow. Okay, so assume rest. How many of you are working moms? Yeah, and how many of you are working from home? That's a good number. And how many of you have a business? Oh my God, look at that. Just look around. That's incredible. So we have a great mix of moms who are doing different things, which is beautiful. Now, one of the things when we become mothers is we take our time to bond with our kids. And the big question that we get at our conference every year is that, like, we've been off work and now we don't know how to get back to work. And it's so daunting. It feels like the world has moved on. So I wanted to figure out how do we solve that and how do we create a space where they can transition and transition with support. And we have incredible people in our community who do a fantastic job. And with that, I'm going to introduce our amazing panelists. Each one of them have, organization, NGO, and companies that help women get back to work. I'm going to allow them to introduce themselves so you can hear from them.
Thank you, Lakshmi. So, hi everyone. My name is Shruti, and I work for an organization called Mom Relaunch. This is a nonprofit that works out of US. What this organization does is their main and the main mission of the organization is to make every woman financially independent. Like we were just talking in the previous topic when we were covering about the financial independence. So our founder, Reena Gupta, she started this organization in 2017, and her sole purpose of starting the organization was that she wanted every woman to be financially independent. So we offer a lot of learning opportunities. We help women upskill. We give them real-time work experience, internships, and basically help them find a job for themselves so that they can do all that they aim for, all that they dream of, and can achieve the sole purpose of their life to be financially independent and not depending upon anyone. Thank you.
Welcome all, and pleasure to be with all of you. So you are going to hear today about her second innings. So it's a platform to bring women back to work. So this is a platform where you can sit at home and figure it out what's your next step. Whether you're working or you're at home, so you can just come and figure it out, your next step. We have a 2 lakh community member today, and close to around 25 Fortune 500 clients are working with us to just get you the job right from your home. That's all we do.
Hi, my name is Ruchita Tandon. I'm the Chief Growth Officer at Aspire for Her. I'd like to first thank Lakshmi and team for having us here. And a little, when I saw that we were immediately after lunch, and I myself hogged because I came all the way from Bombay and I was hungry. And I said, oh, we have a session immediately after lunch. But thanks to Dr. Ushi, let's all begin with a wow, and she really energized the room. A little about Aspire for Her. How many of you heard about Aspire for Her? Oh, wow, fantastic, a lot, many hands. We have a mission and vision of impacting 1 million women in the workforce additionally by 2025. So the question is, thank you. We are in 2025. Make a guess, where are we? I said 1 million by 2025. So where do you think is the community size? I wish. The manifestation numbers I'll tell you after that. But first, let's get to this one. We are at 9.4 lakhs members, mentors, and supporters. We do it using the power of communities and networks. And we have about 25 communities at the moment. Our manifestation numbers now, since we all are here collectively, I'd like to say 10 million by 2030. And that it's an audacious dream, not difficult. But what we do at Aspire for Her, we have a very unique mindset change formula, which is nothing but simply E cube is equal to MC cube. E cube for us is impact, which is employment, entrepreneurship, and education that leads to one of the two. And then we talk about the critical factors that lead to the three, I'll come back to that when we have the later discussions. But yes, we work on the power of communities and networks in the 25 communities that we have. These communities span along the demographics of women, right from college to emerging professional. She could be a woman on a career break, a woman leader, and then we have domain-specific communities. And one community that's across all is entrepreneurial. I see a lot of women entrepreneurs, but we fondly call women entrepreneurs entrepreneurial. Across all the communities, and especially even the return to work, we have a community of about 30,000 women who are looking at coming back, mentors and role models, courses, cohorts, and learning, career previews, and a safe community to be. That's what we do with all our communities, even with return to work.
Right, that's wonderful. Madhura Das Gupta leads it, and she's just a absolutely one dynamic woman. Now, Ruchita, she herself has a great story. She was stay-at-home mom for a lot of years.
Yeah, I want to ask people to guess how many years do you think I had a break? I've come back after a break. 30? 22. I came back after 22 and my son started working at 21. That's how long has been
so
my
if
break.
You guys think it's not possible, you have an inspiration here. And she's rocking it, by the way.
Thank you.
So what's your advice in terms of as mothers returning to workforce after a gap, what are some of the advantages and challenges as well that employers see in them?
I think one of the things which is across all women is definitely multitasking. That's one of the biggest advantages you have. You are very, very adaptable. And as stay-at-home moms, one of the things that you've done always is worked for your loved ones, which is it could be your parents, it could be your children. And now imagine that when you're moving out, it is empathy that's there with you. Employers today realize the value of return to work. You can join immediately into the system. You do not have to wait for a period till you serve your notice. You have already worked and you've got your skill sets. You've got to probably just brush it a little. And the most important, I think the loyalty that comes with women, and especially for women who've been on a break and want to make it back, I think their energy is to another level. They are here for good. I think a couple of things that I've also seen which women typically face is, because you've been on a break, I think it's very important to keep yourself updated with what's happening around. And any gap that comes there leads to a confidence break also. And it is this confidence and some of the barriers which are created in mind that is a challenge. It's not for the organization, but this is a challenge you set for your own self. And it's not difficult because as a mom who's worked for your children, I think you know immediately each and every need. You know how to plan it, you know how to execute it, you know how to deliver it. What you don't know is probably a skill set, which anybody can today take it. There are so many courses to upskill. And employers are recognizing this. And that's the beauty of it. All the organizations today I have seen are running the returnship programs specifically and giving women a chance to come back.
Yeah, even I would like to add here what Ruchita said, that the challenge with the employers nowadays is not the career gap. The challenge with the employers nowadays is how well-versed are you with a lot of soft skills. And I think every mother is a champion in that. Time management, multitasking, patience, stress management, everything. A mother knows how to handle all of that the best. And this is something that we face in our organization. So when we invite recruiters and employers to come up and conduct interview sessions for our members, the first and the foremost thing that they ask for is how technically sound are your people on the soft skills aspect. And I think you mothers nail it on that part. So I think that career gap is not the issue. The gap is how well versed are you and how well you're making the use of all the time that you have in your hand. So
probably I'll just give you a different perspective. Whatever we are just hearing, We work with a lot of MNCs where they look for that. The first thing they come and ask is prove that after the break they would be able to work technically. I'm just making technically, which means your skill set is the first predominant factor to put a tick box. And second, to showcase, is there a project experience, you can just do that. If these two things are there, technically you would be able to put into a top cadre to just put you into the interview process. So if somebody is just looking for restarting the career, the first thing we need to know about it, where do we want to land? That landscape has to be clear. For that landscape, what is the prerequisite is required? How do I figure it out? Again, if you just look at the lot of job portal, right from your Naukri, Indeed, you look at that. I'm a business analyst. I just wanted to join with 3 years. Ask for that, whatever is the job description says about it. Are you able to put a tick box? You are qualified. Lot of organization do the restart program or the platform, whatever you are seeing here. We do publish close to 500 job opening per month. And what we fulfill is close to 100 to 150. Beyond that, we are unable to close. Why? Because we are unable to put the tick mark. So that's a request. If any of you are just looking for, even this holds good for a working professional. If you are looking for a next step, just go and look at the job description. Look at that, what are they looking for? Do you qualify? Put a tick box. If you are qualified, any job is easy to crack.
Yeah, so there are plenty of opportunities just about seeking and manifesting. Now, with AI world, that's a big word right now. So how can moms leverage AI to relaunch their career?
I'll pick it up, all right? So we all think about it, AI has come and our job is at risk. Answer is no. At least for next 5 to 10 years, in India, we are not in that threshold level. The only thing what we need to look at that is how do we use AI to upskill ourselves to just go to the +1 or +2 level. Right? Lot of, if you are in a marketing, you just have your n number of tool which is just giving you the help to publish your content automatically for next 30 days without you lifting your finger. So which means you can progress that into your platform and use your time, as we were just talking about just now as a previous question, what's your next goal? Just go and look at the job description. What is it you're looking for? How do I put myself to put a tick mark? So this is the only way to upskill ourselves to move forward, is the way to learn forward, rather than fearing if AI is come and our job is just at risk. Answer is no.
Sure. I have a little different perspective. See, I myself have come from a break which is 22 years, and in 22 years, it's decades, right? Technology changes quickly, ecosystems change quickly. I was a topper all my life, and I started my career as the first woman engineer in Birla AT&T, which is now Idea Cellular. Thank you. When I decided, I didn't decide to come back, and it happened just by accident. And at that time, a couple of my friends told me, same from technology. They said, the ecosystem is changing. When I was working, there was no G, then 2G, 3G, 4G. We are now at 5G. And even those who are in technology have to upskill themselves. Similarly, when it came to other things, you have to unlearn, learn. But for me, as an individual, when I took up, I started with volunteering because I myself didn't know in the gap what is it that I want. I could not make anything which said that this is what I will do, this is what I will do, this is what I will do, because I have to accept that I have a break. Hence, I went the other way. I also looked at organization who is happy to have me on, because that's first thing which I would want, where somebody is welcoming me and not criticizing me. I do have my gaps. I started with a very unique thing, and now I definitely laugh a lot. But when I met my founder, Madhura, we were just starting, and she was looking out for some volunteers. A friend of mine said that Aspire for her, Madhura is looking out for a volunteer, so why don't you meet her? I said, okay, this was COVID. And just we mentioned about last time, as kids were growing up, I realized I probably can work. I was working at some time, which I had forgotten. And she said, come to my Zoom in 15 minutes. I'm just talking about various things in technology over a period of time. And when she said, come on Zoom in 15 minutes, I said to myself, oh my God, I don't know what Zoom is, because in 22 years, I have only seen emails. Now, the emails that I used to get, which I stopped, were, we miss you, we missed you. They were either from West Side or Marks and Spencer's, right? Because that was the life I was living. And to come on Zoom was the biggest challenge, and I didn't know how to do. And she said, in 15 minutes. Luckily, because of COVID, my kids were at home, and I said, okay, someone please help me. And that is where my first call was. AI and technology definitely helps you. But if you've been on break, definitely look at what you want to do. Otherwise, I would say just keep it open. You just follow the flow of water. Something comes up. I never thought that I would come back to work. I never thought I would make it to the Chief Growth Officer. So that's how it is. AI definitely is giving a lot of jobs. I'll give you a simple example. Today, Microsoft, AWS, they're wanting to train a lot of women in AI. Any guesses? I wouldn't have known myself until actually one of them told. Why is it that we're looking out for so many women in AI? Or why do we want to train women in AI? So, to get in a diverse perspective. Otherwise, when you are giving some of the prompts to ChatGPT and all, there is a very, very biased opinion that comes. And hence, there is a lot of psychology. So, in a nutshell, yes, AI is giving rise to many jobs because you are having young girls who have psychology background who are sitting there and designing. Men and women both have to upskill in AI, which means that everybody can get upskilled if you decide to do in AI. There are a lot of jobs coming. It's for you to decide where you want to go, where you want to upskill, and how you want to take a course. But as a returning woman myself, I felt I couldn't just make a map and say, I have to go north, I have to go east. I just decided to go naturally, not knowing where I would make it. One thing I will tell you, you need to enjoy what you're doing. That's one thing that I felt.
Thank you. I love her journey. And it's just been like 5 years, right? And look where she is right now, representing Aspire for Her everywhere and doing this incredible job. And I love what she had to say about volunteering, but sometimes just about getting out, mixing with people. The worst thing that they can do is just stay within the four walls and then regret it later because you're not going to get the time back. And it's even just getting started somewhere one step at a time and seeing what you like, because it might not be the same that you probably studied for. Like a lot of them would have done engineering, but they're not going to go back to that. It's just about reinventing and figuring out ways. And there's so many opportunities. And also when I started the conference, this was one of the area because it was organically coming to me. I wasn't thinking of kickstarting this whole thing. But I had a lot of women coming in asking. And coincidentally, I went to NASSCOM Summit, and I was surprised to see all these companies doing incredible work in supporting the women, and they're so welcoming. And I'm like, oh my God, I didn't even know this existed. So I think it's just about not being aware, because that's what our community thinks, at least the one who's been, like, I know some of you are like working, all of that. Now, what's your take on entrepreneurship? Because that's another big area. That is also a second inning, maybe not in the corporate world, but still, it's a way that they can reinvent themselves and come up, take their passion, and turn that into something. So you guys have something to say about that.
Yeah, I think irrespective of whatever you want to do something of your own, or you want to get back to a corporate world, everything, the first step starts at home. Once the people at home start sharing the responsibilities, it becomes easier for you to do whatever you want to do. So the first step has to be at home, your husband, your kids, if you're staying in a joint family, your in-laws, whosoever are there. Once they all learn how to share responsibility, you as an individual can start thinking how you can best utilize your time and where you can best put your creativity at work. So it could be something that you want to do at your own. A lot of people were talking that they want to put hobbies to work. A lot of people said that they have those skills and they want to join the corporate world. So everything starts at that level. You have a lot of opportunities open now. Somebody was previously talking about cloud kitchens. Government is supporting a lot of startups. So there is a vast opportunity open for you. It's just that you need to identify that first step and ask the family, be open. Don't hesitate to talk about what you want to do and where you want to do. So ask, talk, be vocal. And once you're vocal, I'm sure everybody in the family will be standing behind you, supporting you for what you want to do.
I love that. That's like the first step because a lot of women don't even ask. Actually, it was in a way my case. Like I would do everything. And then when I decided I'm going to do that, and I'm like, I want to do that, I'm so surprised to see how supportive my husband was. He's like, yeah, sure, I got you covered. Because sometimes it's us thinking that we need to do it all. And it's just about putting the word out and putting the thought out. And also regarding what you had to say. In fact, when you talking about volunteer and getting back, in fact, Kai, I don't know if Jennifer is here. Getting back to even teaching, that's another great way. And you can meet them. Kai, they're one of our supporters. And I went and visited their center, and they have incredible way that they could get people started even with teaching jobs, because that's a low entry way that you can, if you're used to being with kids, that's a great way to get started on something and then take it to the next level. So, and you have something to add, and we'll take quick questions from the audience, and then we'll move on to the next session.
Sure. So like how we just say age is the number, break is just the number. It's just the number, so you don't need to worry about that, number one. And number two, look at that, what is that your identity you wanted to build? Previous session, we were talking about having the finances, independence, energy, power, right? If we wanted to get into the space, your identity is your career. So what is that career you are looking for? Once you have a map, probably you can just put into the next step, how do we go? If you don't know, what should I do about it? Just go for the platforms like us. All the platform gives you the career coaching session for free. Join and explore. That's number one. And number two, your volunteering is the best way to learn and give. Learn and give. That's the second opportunity. You can just build it across. So with that, there are women where we are seeing here Ruchi as an example, after 21 years when she can just do that. Life is simple for all of us to take that. All we need is a first step of a courage to take it forward. Thank you.
And I'll tell you, when you come back, you feel like you never left the space. That is one of the other feelings that I'll get. But I'll add to entrepreneurship, because when we talk of employment entrepreneurship, we have a community called as Entreprenari. That's the word we've done. And can you believe who supports Entreprenari? Have you ever heard? Yes, you're absolutely right, because she's very passionate. Now, why is she passionate? Because most of the women in India are micro and nano entrepreneurs. We strongly feel that if the woman entrepreneur grows, you will have more and more women in the ecosystem, because as she grows, she would want to build her organization with more women. I'll give you a simple example. Aspire for Her, started by Madhura Dasgupta Sinha. Today, we are 30 of us. Most of us are on career breaks because we walk the talk. I don't know what each one of them did previously, but today we have somebody who's doing talent acquisition, somebody who's doing technology, somebody who's doing operations, and all of them skill in their work. In entrepreneurship, we run the community Entreprenari. We encourage women entrepreneurs to join it. We provide market opportunities. We provide funding opportunities. We want every woman entrepreneur to grow and hopefully at someday go and ring the bell. But with that, we also have a very, I would say, I'd like to end Entreprenari on saying, Sab pe bhari, ek hi nari, Entreprenari.
I mean, yes, you do. Yeah. Hello, good afternoon. I think it's been a wonderful, wonderful event today. And I think this particular topic interests me a lot. Well, my name is Seema, and I come from a very small town, KGF. Of course, now thanks to the Kannada industry, everybody knows KGF. So it's been 25 years of marriage now, and when I came to Bangalore, it was very different because I come from a very protective joint Marwadi family. So it was sari, ghungat, all of that. I couldn't speak English for a chunk part of my life. I didn't know what to do with life, right? It was the turning point when my daughter was born. So I felt like, okay, now that my daughter is here, if this is my life, like, very simple, ghungat niche chala jata tha and the mother-in-law was yelling behind. Literally that kind of life. And that, I think, when my daughter was born, that gave me the power. Okay, now I should ask for it. See, all three of you said the same thing, that, asking. Asking is a very important thing. Go and ask for it and people will understand. I think it, yes, in our cities, yes, but still, it's still a very, very minuscule part, right? If you go deep down in those two-tier cities and, towns, Even if you're talented, you're passionate, you're very hardworking, you're talented, everything, there's everything. You're educated, you're qualified. But even after that, people are like, kyun karna hai? And I'm not talking about, people who are down there. Even I see, people upper middle class, rich backgrounds, whatever, rich in terms of maybe intellect also, money, finances, whatever. But they do not get the permission. And that's very, very sad. So what do you have to say to those women? Because I was called a rebel. Honestly, I didn't care for it, so it was different. But a lot of women do not have the courage. How do they muster that courage to say, you know what, this is my life, these are my dreams, and without hurting your sentiments, your emotions, your feelings, I still want to go ahead and do this. So how do they? Because start is never easy, right? So any one of you can answer that, please.
Thank you. First of all, before you go ahead, this community is just that. Yeah. I've over years seen so many women actually use their voice here for the first time. I'm sure you've met them. So that is the reason communities are important. But you can't talk to your father, your mother, your brother, or your close friend. A stranger would actually be a better person for you to talk to, and they will listen. And when you hear it out loud, as you said, it begins to make even more sense. And you marry into the idea even more. Yes, Lakshmi.
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying, because sometimes it's just about wanting to do something. It's not even about finances, right? It's about getting started. Even when with this idea, like when I want to do it, and as you guys know, I live in Florida. So when I'm like, I'm going to go to India, I'm going to do this, and I want to do that because I want to. And my son, who is 10-year-old, and he's super wise for his age, and he's always like, but mommy, why do you have to do this? Like, you don't have to. I'm like, so what do? He goes like, you can go shopping, you can watch Netflix, you can do. But like, that doesn't give me purpose. Like every woman, I feel like we all need something that drives us. For me, it's this, because I'm very passionate about it. But for you, it could be something else. And for each one, it's a different thing that gives them that fire in their belly. And it's just about communicating, and not instantly they're going to understand. Because even when I came up with it, they're like, but why? Like, it doesn't even make sense, right? But then you explain to them, and eventually they understand that it's about the joy that it brings to you, and it's your identity. Because your life is going to, each decade, your life's going to change. Your kids are going to grow up. And then what? And then there's this big identity crisis after. And then you're like, okay, like one of you were saying, it was so beautiful to hear what she had to say. All of a sudden, you're like, okay, initial years are very demanding. But later it's not. Then you're like, what do I do with myself, with my time? And then you have to be like, okay, now to start dating your husband again. It's like, oh, hi. Because earlier the conversations always around kid. But it's just about, I think, asking and just making them understand.
I think what is important, and I can actually say that with an example. So my very close friend, she went through the same challenge, where her father was very open about her studying. He allowed her to study as much she wanted. But when it came to job, he was absolutely no about it. So he was like, no, you're not working, you're not stepping out. So she very smartly, what she did was, she said, just give me 1 year. If in that 1 year I don't prove myself, I will do exactly as you ask me to. But if in this 1 year I prove myself and I stand true to what you have been teaching me all this while, then you would not stop me from going ahead. And she actually went ahead, and that was just one little step that she had to take, but that step really paid. And today she's working for a very good organization. It's almost been like 20 years she has been working. And her father is very proud of her. He never stopped her. So just that one tiny step, maybe you should know how to trick your mom and dad. They're your mom and dad. You should know how to trick them. So just, have that art of tricking them by saying, give me just like a little piece of time and then I'll prove myself.
Maybe one more tip for you, for all of us to think about it. So the question comes at home is because you have been asked to do so many work, how do we do about it? Create a space. So probably we have a community member, Jyoti, 8 years back she came from Dharwad. She doesn't even speak English. And she just wanted to have a job. We trained her to just speak, write, email, etc. Today, she is heading the customer care department by taking 1 to 2 hours every day to spend. Now, the family understood she has to step on that. And there are women comes when the kid is in 9th standard, 10th standard. I spent my life for my kid. Now, they are asking, who asked you to support? Did I ask? I never asked. Right? They come with a tears and say, what should I do about it? So taking your 1 to 2 hours is a good start for you to do it at home. You don't need to step out. Once you gain the confidence, then slowly go on just looking for the other steps.
I'll just keep it short. The first thing in something like this, see, change is happening. It's just that change is slightly, it's at a very slow pace as compared to the population of the country. Besides the change, how do you've got to see role models in life. You've got to show them to others, which means there have to be more and more women in that space. And one is you take mentorship. The other is show examples of role models, how they are doing everything. I think that makes a lot of difference. As against your question, I don't know how many of you know Ruma Devi in this room. Have you heard about Ruma Devi? She's created a revolution by actually collecting more than 30,000 women all across the rural Rajasthan and helping them with their business move forward. So change is there even in the villages. And while she cannot speak in English, she cannot speak in Hindi that fluent, she goes all the way to Harvard and there are case studies on her. So change is happening. There are different pockets. All we need to do is get these role models out and create your identity, because that's your happiness. Even in a flight, the first thing the air hostess says is that in cases of emergency, put the mask yourself. Only when you save yourself can you save your child or your parent who is sitting next to you. So with that, I think you have to raise the voice at some times and work around.
Before we wrap up this panel, I would like to welcome Ms. Jennifer. Please come up here. She has a training program for women, and the training program focuses on teaching. I will leave her to do the introduction of what she does. Welcome, Jennifer. Please come up.
Hi, everyone. So I'm Jennifer, and I'm the co-founder of Kai Early Years. It's an international preschool in Whitefield. And I'm also the board member at Legacy School Bangalore, which is a K-12 school. And then I've also recently co-founded Kai Circle, which is a center for empowerment. And we work with, basically, primarily with teachers at this point, but working a lot with being able to support mothers like yourselves who are looking to get back into the workplace and looking at in terms of how would I do that. So when we're looking at hiring, say, within the school system, there's a lot that we, of course, look at, and I agree with a lot of comments that was shared up here in terms of the skill set is important, there's technical knowledge. I think what's really important for us is the mindset. That's what we look for in individuals, and we want to see that a mother is really passionate, that she's growth-minded and willing to learn. And I think that's the biggest thing. If you're open to learning and pushing yourself in that direction, and you're resilient, then I think really that just opens doors for you. But with Kai Circle, what we're really looking at is being able to support then those who are maybe looking to enter the teaching profession, or maybe you've never considered it, but you're just kind of curious what it might look like. We're looking at ways how to do that, where you're also not just immediately having to commit, right? It's hard to get back into the workplace and decide what might you want to do if you have to reinvent yourself. So an opportunity, for example, we'll be offering in terms of if you want to just come into the school and just observe for the day. What would it be like to be a teacher? And what would that job entail, being able to meet other teachers and have those conversations. And I will say that there's a lot of times a perception that if you've been a mother, it's easy, you can just be a teacher. I'll tell you that it is not. At the end of the day, we have all been, we've all come from teachers. We've all been able to learn, and the successful people in life have all had a teacher. So they really make societies, and they're really important people, and there's a lot of respect that we should be giving to educators, and I think that it's a great career choice. And so anyone who would like to just kind of talk more, I'm happy to connect with you guys.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. Yes. A big round of applause for these wise people.
Sit on. And also we'll be collaborating with this wonderful group with Aspire for Her and with second inning, and of course with Mom Relaunch. So watch out for more announcements about the collaboration, because end of the day, this platform is to help moms connect with the right resources. And these are the resources that we have identified and will be working closely. So reach out to them, to us, as long as you guys know that there's a support system here in the community, we're good. So thank you again for coming and being part of this.
Thank you, Shruti.
And yeah, and before I step down, so we just have a very small giveaway for each one of you. So before you leave for the day, if you can just come to the Mom Relaunch table and collect that giveaway.
They have booths in the sponsor hall, so please go check them out. You can talk to them, you can connect with them. They'll guide you with whichever resources you need. And of course, we have other like Shopper Stop, and thanks to Shopper Stop, we have Kai, and check out the Coop as well. Right. So yeah, thank you again. We'll get started with the next session. Mom Power 360, an empowering community for moms just like you and me.